Welcome to HopePulse with Masin Joroge. Our topic for today is at rock bottom, how winners fight back. You know, in life, when we go through very difficult situations and we get to our lowest point, we have two choices. I either decide to rise again and start living, or I decide to die and wait for my grave. The ability for me to be able to rise again, or what I'll become after this, depends on my ability to be able to see the future beyond the situation that I am going through. It is not easy. It calls for a lot of courage, because starting all over again, especially after failing, the first time when I fail, it's a bit easy to retry again. But when I fail again, then I try and I fail again, fear starts to creep in. And I start facing now challenges. Some of the things that I encounter is I start suffering what we call self-doubt. Before, I put in a plan, I started doing something, I did it so well, and I thought that my plan is going to work. I did it the first time and I failed. I tried the second time and I failed. So I start now feeling like I'm inadequate. I'm not good enough. And if that self-doubt gets into my mind, it makes it very difficult for me to be able to restart my life again. The other thing that you suffer, the brain starts to associate restarting or starting all over again with pain. So every time when I think of starting again, the brain sets now alerts to my system that pain is coming, the pain of loss, the pain of failure. And I find myself now stepping back and not being able to restart all over again. The other thing that we suffer is emotional burnout. I tried, I suffered, I went through all the failure. I then gave myself courage, I started again. Again I failed, I then through all the healing. Now the other time when I'm trying again, my emotions now are getting wounded and I am getting now drained emotionally and mentally. So that makes it again very difficult, and if I'm not careful, I can even get into depression. Then I suffer financial strain, because these projects that I'm trying, I'm investing money, I'm investing my resources there. So when I started maybe a club, it failed. The money that was there failed with the club. I start now again a hotel, it didn't work. That money now goes there. When I'm starting that time, some of my resources are out there. I may even be in debt because I took a loan somewhere, I have not paid it, that project has failed. So apart from the emotional strain that I'm going through, I'm also struggling financially because I have not been able to make money, and now the project that I had have gone down. So that makes it very difficult to restart again, even as much as I'll be willing to do it. The other thing is the social stigma. You are doing a project. I was doing very well. They started maybe even with other people in that area. Maybe I have associates that I was working with, the business associates. They are doing well, they are succeeding. Mine has gone down. We had people maybe who are in the same school. These people are doing well. My projects have gone down the first time, the second time, the third time. Facing these people again, it becomes very difficult. It could even be a marriage. I got married the first time. When that marriage doesn't work the first time, people will come, they will encourage me. If I get married another time and then it fails again, then people start to question. It could be maybe you're the one who's having a problem. I start to question myself. Probably the mistake is not the people that I marry, it could be the source of the problem. So that becomes a problem. So I start now associating myself with failure. I start fearing to associate myself with the other people. So I start setting back, I start stepping back. I no longer go to clubs with my friends. I no longer go to the meetings where I know the people that we're working with or schooling with are, because I feel I have failed myself. And I'm not able to explain even to myself or to them why I am not making it. They are also maybe talking about it. So being in the society becomes now a problem. The other problem that we suffer is a lack of direction. You know, you have set a very good plan and you thought this plan is working. The second time you set another plan, you thought it is going to work. When it fails the third time, you get into some sort of confusion. You don't know what to do anymore. So it calls for you to now step back, to rethink all over again. So you feel like you don't even know what you need to do. It's a point where you feel it's like your mind has gone to a space of locking, because everything that you thought would work is not working. So you are confused. Is it that the plan was not good? Is it that in my implementation? Is it the people that are working for me? You're not very clear on the direction that you're supposed to take. When you get to that point, you start feeling very frustrated because what I thought would work is not working several times. And remember, life is still continuing. There are demands in life, and I am now getting drained. You get to a point where you feel very frustrated because you feel your efforts, they are not bearing any fruits. So when I am at that point, when I've tried, I have failed. Now fear is there. There is self-doubt. There is all this emotional burnout. How do I help myself? Because at the end of the whole story we are saying, I may be at that point, I may be at my lowest, but I still have to start living again. And I had to make a decision. And we have said it is either I rise and move on, or I choose to die. But because you are not choosing to die, you are choosing to live. Then how do I live now after all this failure and after all this damage? So the first thing you're supposed to do is, number one, reframe failure. Look at failure as a lesson. So you can look at all the times that you have tried and failed. What lessons can I pick? What did I do wrong that I can be able to do right this time? What did I do right the first time, the second time, the third time? And I take them now as lessons rather than using the failure and looking at it as a definer of your destiny. The other thing you need to do is forgive yourself. You know, when we fail, when I go back to my records, maybe there's some money that I did not invest very well. Maybe there was even some advice, professional advice that I was given, and I ignored it. Even maybe from the discussions that we had with people. Probably it could be even in my marriage. There's something that I did, and I'm sure there's something I needed to do in that marriage that I did not do. So it caused failure. So for me to be able to start all over again, I need to forgive myself and understand I'm not a perfect person. And because I've made this mistake, the only way I can be able to rise is to accept that, yes, I have failed, but I can be able to rise all over again. So you forgive yourself so that you get the courage. You're able to now be able to give yourself grace to be able to start all over again. The other thing you need to do is rest. Don't quit, but rest. Because if I fail the first time, I quickly get into another project. It fails, I get into another project all over again. Apart from the burnout, what I also now don't give myself a chance to do is an opportunity to be able to reassess myself. So it has failed. It is okay to take a break so that you breathe in, so that you regain your energy, so that your mind now can calm down again and you are able to see through. Even these lessons that you are taking, you can only be able to pick them out at the position of rest. So just rest. Don't quit, but take a break. It is okay to rest so that I can be able to re-energize, I can be able to start all over again. Then, the other thing I need to do at that point of rest, I do a very genuine reassessment of self and of that project so that I'm able to pick, what did I do wrong? What did I do right? What can I do differently? Could it be maybe in these projects that I'm doing, I am taking more that I can be able to handle? Could it be that I'm taking projects that I don't have knowledge on how to perform? Probably I'm depending on other people. Could it be probably I have not given it a lot of attention? I can start a club, I can start a hotel, I can start maybe even a project, but have I been able to give it enough energy, enough time, enough resources? Could it be probably I invested too little, so when the project started, I was not able to put results for my business. So what do I do this time? So I assess everything genuinely. I pick what I did right, I pick what I did wrong, and with that, I'll be able now to adjust accordingly. So what do I need to adjust? Is it that the project itself? Do I need to restart all over again, something completely different, which is in line with what the knowledge, skill set that I have, or maybe the talents that I have? Do I need maybe probably to just adjust the way I was doing it? Probably, let's say for instance, I had started a hotel. All the time, I normally open my hotel at 10 a.m. So by the time I'm opening, the other people have sold their tea in the morning, and I'm coming out to pick maybe people who are coming for 10 o'clock tea. What if now, when I reopen again, I'll be up by 5, so that when the people are reporting to work, or when people are opening their businesses, the first cup they will take they'll be able to get it available in my hotel. I could be maybe in the talent industry. Have I been posting enough? Who is working on my social media platforms? Who is working as my manager? What do I need to do differently? So whatever I need to adjust, I must be ready to adjust and to correct the situation. And when there is need for me to start everything afresh, gather the courage. Because the more I keep on insisting on doing the same thing all the time, doing the same thing and repeating the same thing again, I keep repeating the same mistake, it means I will continue getting the same results. Once I do that, it is also okay to seek support. So I did this, it failed. I may be good probably in managing the hotel, but I'm not good in managing accounts. So I will start with my knowledge in hotel management, but I will get now this time another person who can be able to help me with managing my books of account. I may be very good in managing the books of account, but I'm not very good in sales. So I get support in sales. I could probably be requiring to sit maybe with a marketer or a person who has professional knowledge on how to push the business and get the tips there. So don't shy away from getting support. I could also probably be requiring some counseling, because if I've been emotionally drained, if I've struggled so much, I cannot just push myself through and continue, pushing myself until I fall. At that point, before I restart, if I need some counseling, it is good for me to gather the courage and take a session. So support is very important. I cannot be good in everything. I'll be good in one thing, but I need support in another. Then once I'm able to do that, I also find now inspirations. Sometimes when I fail, I keep looking at people who are doing it very well, people who have not failed. When I look at those people, what that does to me, it crushes my spirit. I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like a failure. So I keep on seeing my mistakes. As much as I want to reassess and genuinely be able to learn from those mistakes, I need at this point for me to be able to gain the courage to restart, to listen to people who tried, failed, and started all over again. That is the story that I need. I need to read the books, inspirations from people who had lost hope, from people who had gone to rock bottom like me and they started all over again. People who thought it was even done. People who had been written off by the society, but they rose again. So that when I listen to those stories, I'm able to see, oh, so it is not me alone. So failure is normal, it is part of life. Because for sure, when you are doing serious projects, at some point, if you are not able to handle failure, you cannot succeed in any project. We are only able to succeed and start because we know sometimes in businesses, you go up and you get to a stage where you are very low. And that cycle of low, it is when I need those inspirations so that I see those ones who went up, they went down and they rose again. So feed yourself with that positive energy so that you are able now to rise again. As you're doing that, there are some things that you need to avoid. One of them is forcing motivation. Sometimes it is okay to look at myself genuinely. I'll need the energy to rise again. I need that positive energy. But then also it is a mistake when I force motivation. Forcing motivation is when I feel I am completely drained. This project is not working. But I still keep on, closing my eyes and ears to the fact that this thing is not working. So I have what is that first motivation. I keep on saying, I'm doing well. I'm going to make it. Even when everything is shouting, everything is screaming at me that I need to restart, I need to readjust, I need to take a step back and look at what is causing the failure. So don't force motivation. Assess genuinely. Yes, remain positive, but don't force motivation. If I need to readjust, it is okay to be able to be honest with myself, because I can lie to everybody. Imagine, for example, your business is failing and for sure things are not working. But I'm saying it is going to work, it's going to do it, I believe this is going to work. Even when everything is crashing, what happens? The few resources remaining, instead of you reserving them for you to be able to restart all over again, you destroy everything. So by the time you're finishing, instead of the way I reassess to correct myself, the business will die completely. So it is not that I am now adjusting, I am forced by the situation to adjust because now I have failed and have no option. And now this becomes very destructive Because when I waste everything that I have to the last coin, it makes it more complicated for me to start all over again. The other thing I need to avoid is don't compare yourself with other people. I can listen to inspirations, but remember, this is your story. We are gifted differently. We are talented differently. We have different sets of skills, and we are also called for different missions. So as much as I learn from people, I will still be that unique person that God created. My journey will be unique. So assuming me, I'm being prepared to be a bishop. So I am going through very difficult situation. God is taking me through fire so that He can prepare me for the mission. Then I'm comparing myself with a person who is only supposed to be a catechist. When I compare myself with such a person, the problem that I'm going to suffer is this person might succeed more easily because there are some struggles that God wants me to encounter to build me that He cannot give to that person because our calling is different. So as much as they are succeeding, remember, we are called for different missions. So I learn from people, but I must not compare myself. And even when I'm restarting, I will pick lessons, I will pick inspirations, but I must ensure that I do my thing because I am unique and I will only succeed. I will only rise above the ordinary when I'm able to think beyond other people and maintain my uniqueness even as I learn from the other people. The other thing you must make sure that you don't ignore burnout. It is very, very dangerous when I'm completely emotionally drained and mentally drained and I keep pretending that I am okay. When I am completely burnt out, if I ignore it, what normally happens is that I am going to break down. And when I break down, when I'm down with depression, I will have now to get medical assistance because at the point when I could be able to help myself, I ignored it. So by the time I'm coming to seek for help, it is not even me. When I break down, it's other people now who will pick me. The problem with this is the journey for you to come back becomes more complicated because now this means I have to go through medication. Probably I have developed some even medical illnesses. I have to get healed. The resources that I have, the few of them, are now being used for my treatment. So don't ignore it. That's why we say it's very important to take a break and to rest. If I cannot do it, I agree, wow, this is too much. Take that break, take a few days, rest, breathe in, breathe out, and then now you're able to see clearly and start all over again. You need that energy, you need that emotional strength for you to be able to start all over again. The other thing, avoid the either I get it all or nothing. You are not an angel. You are not perfect. So when you say, unless I get 100%, I will not do it, it means then you cannot do it because even the ones who are doing it and you think they are doing very well, they are probably at their 70% or at their 60%. So agree to have good enough. It is good enough so that you're able to pick as I'm doing it, as I'm restarting, I'm able to appreciate the steps that I'm making, the progress that I'm making. I could be just maybe from 10 to 15%. But because I'm able to appreciate my good enough, as I'm waiting for the 100%, the fact that I can be able to acknowledge that I've improved from 10 to 15. I've improved from 20% to 30%. That improvement, it gives me the energy to be able to push on to get myself to the 50 and to the 60. But if I keep focusing on the 100%, it kills the energy, it destroys me. And I don't have the energy to now continue working on my 10%. So accept good enough. They can only be good enough. It cannot be you're at my best. As long as you have done your best, don't try to be at 100%. And you see also, the problem is, what is 100%? What is this perfect that you're looking for? Because who is that person you're looking at and you are saying, I'm benchmarking with this is my 100. You'll be very surprised that what you're thinking is 100 for them, probably they are feeling they're also not doing very well. And when you get to that point, you still want to do better. So there is no one point in life where you say, now I have it all. Every day, you keep on growing, you keep on improving. The other thing you must avoid is confessing your struggles to everybody. It's not everybody who needs to know your story. It's not everybody who is of any help. So don't confess your struggles to everybody. You know, now my business is not working. You know, now financially I'm doing so badly. You know, now in my family I'm going through, oh, blah, blah, blah. All these things, they don't need them. Because the more you keep on confessing your struggles to the people, the more you give them points to talk about you, and the more they will pull you down with all different ideas of what you need to do. And the more I confess them and the more they talk, the more discouraged and frustrated I become. Only share your struggles with people who can be able to impact you positively. All the other people don't need your story. Then don't let shame put you down and hinder you from starting again. I started a business, it failed, it is true. They could be talking about me. I could be asking myself, am I not good enough? Even maybe my story could be out. Probably when I was repossessed and people are talking about, oh, you know, so and so, even the business, the auctioneers were at her business and they took everything. Or maybe this one, you know, their child even did this, they didn't bring up the child very well. Even that child died because of how the mother or the father did not support the child. And I'm feeling so embarrassed about myself. Don't let that shame put you down. Because you are not the first person to fail. And that's why listening to the inspirations from people who have gone through similar situations and have managed is very, very important. Because if I allow that shame to put me down, what is going to happen is I will remain down. For example, if your business was closed, if the auctioneers came and they carried everything, that is the position. If I decide not to come out, what is going to happen? They will keep talking for sure, yes. But if I do not start, I will never change my story. The story will remain that she had a hotel and it was repossessed. But now when I start all over again, the story will change from shame now to a story of victory. Because people will be saying, you know that madam, her hotel was repossessed. And you can see now she has 3 branches. How I do not know what sort of strength this lady has. I don't know what sort of energy this person has. So you become an inspiration to the other. When I agree to start again, even when I feel embarrassed, imagine this madam who is now married and having now, she's the advisor of couples. This lady, we saw her when her marriage went down and now she has been able to start again. You see this gentleman, he's the one who was drinking. I used to sit at our shopping center, sleeping there, dirty, confused, but you can see what God has done. So change your story. You can only change shame to a story of victory when you agree to rise again. But if you allow that shame to cover you and to close yourself down there, you will remain with that negative story. But you can be able to change your story. When you are able to do that and you rise again and you start your journey, accepting that good enough, taking one day at a time, and marking in your book the progress that you're making every day, you will be able to succeed. In conclusion, what we say, no matter how deeply you have failed, remember that the greatest comeback is born from the greatest failure. Remember also, failure is a lesson and not a destiny definer. This is not the end, it is a rebirth. Just rise one more time and remember, you are stronger than this challenge. You are greater than this problem. It is only a communication of how strong you are and how great a person you can become. The only thing that you need to do is take that one step and start all over again. Close your ears to all the noises. Close your ear to all the voices, be they internal or external, and allow yourself to be reborn. Allow that business to be reborn again. And that strong person that is hidden in this painful story that you have is going to come out as the person who is going to inspire and impact and guide the society in the future. Thank you very much. And remember to keep that path of hope. God bless you.